Hi everyone. So, as you can tell by the title of the video, I am going to play my own mod for Doom 2 at Ultraviolence Plus difficulty. I've never done it before, so we'll see how it goes. So let's begin with, whoops, let's not exit. Let's begin with Doom 0 difficulty. Ultraviolence Plus. Start right from the start. And yeah, here we go. This is the official port from id Software, the Unity port as some people like to call it. And this is the latest version of Doom 0. So this actually is different from the version that that id Software lets you download. You can download this version, or at least one very close to this version on ModDB. I know that there's a lot of Doom fans that want me to upload this WOD or this collection of files related to Doom 0, including the mod stuff like the DEH file that changes some of the characteristics of the game, to what was the site, to id Games, where all of the WODs and mods and stuff for Doom are kept by the community. Unfortunately, you know, I'm very busy, as in like I'm now a full-time game developer, and because we're an indie developer, we have to do everything ourselves. We don't have any help to do all of the not just game development stuff, but the marketing, the legal stuff, and all of that. So I just don't have the time to try and upload it. And some people might think, well, it's just upload it. It shouldn't take you a lot. It shouldn't take you much time. The problem is that it has a very unconventional way of. Whoops! I think I'm gonna die if I'm not careful. Fortunately, we've got this. I'm definitely gonna be using secrets and. Yeah, but to get back on topic, one of the biggest problems with id Games is that you can't just upload, you know, you can't just create a profile and upload to the id Games website. You have to use some kind of special software. It's been months since I read on how to do it. It's relatively involved, and because it's something I've never done before, there's nothing really intuitive about it, so it's all about just learning how it works, what I can, what I cannot do, and as a result, it's just more trouble than it's worth. Look, you can get on ModDB sometime in the future when I have time, when I take a break from work or something. I'll take the time and effort to upload it to id Games. But yes, this is definitely the final version of Doom 0, even if there might be some little things I'm like, oh, maybe I should change this or change that. I would still not change anything, because you have to let go. You have to let something just be finished. You know, which a lot of Star Wars fans wish that George Lucas would just, you know, just leave the Star Wars trilogy alone and not keep changing it with every single media release. I mean, he changed it for the 1997 release, he changed it again for the 2004 DVD release, and then he changed some stuff in the original trilogy for the Blu-ray release, and then he sold it to Disney. So hopefully the changes will finally stop. Unfortunately, as far as the special editions are concerned, I think the DVD is the best one, because it's not just because some of the things were fixed that the original special edition should have fixed, but he also, the 2004 one also undid some of the changes of the 1997 version, which is a good thing. Now, I'm not one of those purists that say that Star Wars was perfect and all of that stuff. Let's see, did I get, I think I did get every secret. Now, I'm not going to try 100% this. I just want to get through this. I've never done this before. I don't know how difficult this is going to get. And I'm not like this crazy skilled Doom player. As you can see, I'm getting hit so many times. I'm still trying to adjust to how fast the monsters are and stuff. As far as I know, this is how fast the monsters move and how quickly they shoot you and stuff in Nightmare. Except it's not. Except it doesn't have the infinitely respawning enemies, which is great, because I really do think that's the worst part about Nightmare mode. Because if Nightmare wasn't respawning monsters but was basically just this Ultra Violence plus, I think that Nightmare would have been the new norm for hardcore Doom players instead of Ultra Violence. But you can kind of tell that that Nightmare was sort of a joke from the start, like, haha, it'd be so funny if people try to play this. But little did the guys at id Software realize that, you know, gamers can get a lot more skilled than they originally thought, because for a lot of people, Ultra Violence, not Ultra Nightmare, this isn't Doom Eternal, Ultra Violence is not really challenging anymore for a lot of these people. As you can see, I'm not moving. As you can see, I'm not crossing this line just yet, because I cross that line, a whole bunch of zombies are going to appear behind me, as well as a Spectre and a Imp. Yeah, I wish I had a... Well, I guess nah, that's going to be too tedious. Let's not do this the most annoying way possible. But yeah, going back to Star Wars, I'm not one of those purists that thinks that the original trilogy cannot have improvements. There's some things that I do like about the special edition, but admittedly, I think the majority of them were unnecessary, especially the stuff done with A New Hope. Oh gosh, I'm just running into these fireballs. I'm not even making an effort to try and dodge them. I mean, I know how to dodge them, but I'm still so used to their slow-moving projectiles, as opposed to the readjusted speed. Yeah, you can just cheat and just sort of just shoot him from that point before flipping the switch to raise the bridge. So, the main reason why I released this version of Doom Zero, version 3, is because it really is just me just satisfying my OCD, because like some of the things that I think could have been improved is just communicating more clearly to players that the faces on the doors are not just for decorations. They're to tell you which switch is linked to which door, and I thought I made it pretty obvious in like the first 4 or 5 maps, where you see the switch and the door in the same, like you can see them in the same field of view. So as you can see, you see the switch and you see the door, and you see the lions and the gargoyles are they match the doors that they open. Whoops, I was paying attention to the imp on the left. I'm only gonna do the first 6 maps. Whoops, I forgot that I need to run. I haven't played this in a couple of months, but you know, this map, I know this map like the back of my hand, simply because this was the map that I revisited the most, because I started building this map back in 2016, and I worked on other maps and I learned more refined ways of doing things, and I was like, oh man, I need to do that to map 2 and like make it a little bit more polished and stuff. And so I would come back to this map, keep changing things over and over again. So here you see there's the lion door, so only the lion is going to open the door. All these other switches, they're just going to do random things. This one's going to shut this I guess this control section, and oh no, I cannot get out. But there's a switch here that rises when this here rises as well, so then you can open it up again. So hopefully that would really, really drive home just what those switches do. And oh gosh, I'm getting nailed. I remember when I was playing Quake and I'm being attacked by what do you call it? It might have been multiplayer where like someone is shooting nails at me and I'm like, oh man, I'm getting nailed. And I said that without thinking. I completely forgot that yes, you used nails in Quake instead of bullets. You know. I always do that. I always accidentally say puns and people are like, huh, that's funny. I was like, what? Oh, I did a unintended pun. Okay, now that everything's clear, now I can get all of the goodies. Hopefully I can find some little bit of health. Oh, there it is. Okay, that means we're at 100. So when we get the Soul Sphere or Supercharge, it's very weird that internally that thing has different names. Then we'll have 200% health after we pick it up. And of course I also picked up the backpack, so now we can, let's see, well, I don't have I'm not gonna scour the place for bullets. Yeah, I already picked up that thing at the bottom there. Sometimes I just don't pay attention to where I've been or not, especially when I'm talking. You know, what's interesting is that I used to be okay at this game back in 2016 when I started making Doom Zero, but after just years of just practicing by testing maps and making sure everything's good and stuff, what used to be difficult for me became really easy. So this map, I thought it was pretty difficult, but now it's like, it's not bad at all. Oof, probably should take more cover. Yeah, so in an early build of Doom Zero, particularly in the demo version, the secret to raise this platform here used to be a switch over here, but now you just walk off because that switch actually ended up being very obvious, which is pretty funny because you'd think that just running off a platform would be obvious, but most people don't do that. They're like, oh, I don't want to fall down there, so they never even bother. So the secret ends up being more, well, secret just because of that tiny little change. Now, I know that some people are like, why did you change the sound effects for these monsters? Well, let's put it this way. All of the Doom 1 monsters, except for the imps and zombies, use the same sound effects. All of them. The pinkies, the... Ooh, okay. I didn't know this guy was here. Oh, gosh. Oh, man. Okay. Whew. Okay. I try to run away. Let's just face them normally. Okay, so the Cacodemons, the Pinky, the Spectres, the Barons, and even the flippin' Lost Souls all make the same sound effects. Like the same, like, roaming grunt sound effect. And I always hated that. I always hated that the Lost Soul makes the same sound as a Baron or a Pinky or something like that. So I changed it, and it's not like it's going against vanilla Doom. Quite the opposite, actually. The reason why the sound effects were limiting is because back in 1993, I think the guys at id Software tried to keep the memory limits relatively low so that distribution was easier, particularly through shareware. It might also have to do with the fact that they were probably, at least at one point, trying to aim to get the game to run in under 4 megabytes of RAM. But in the case of Doom 2, they were like, well, we can just add a whole bunch of new monsters. And those new monsters pretty much got their own sound effects, So the, like for instance, the Pain Elemental isn't sharing the same sound effects as the Cacodemon. Just as an example, the Mancubus isn't sharing the same sound effects as the Baron. Now, obviously, the Hell Knight is sharing the same sound effects as the Baron, but that's just because they're pretty much the same monster, only one's a little stronger than the other. But it's a good thing that I changed the Cacodemon sound effect because, well, I remember watching someone playing through Doom Zero. Oh my gosh, I better pay attention. So, oof. Yeah, okay. Alright. I should have used my normal shotgun instead. Woo! Let me just use this. Okay, not much bullets, but that's fine. Okay, I cannot talk while I'm trying to survive, so just bear with me. I'm not much of a multitasker. This is why I'm not a professional Let's Player. That's fine, I'll just stay as a game developer that does some videos on the side. I usually upload every 2 weeks, sometimes longer, sometimes it takes me a month. Obviously Christmas I took a proper break, so I didn't upload anything during the end of December, throughout most of January. Okay, I feel a little bit more comfortable. Anyway, so I was watching this Let's Play of a guy playing through Doom Zero, and once he got used to the sound of the Cacodemon, like it was jarring, like he was like, oh, why does the Cacodemon sound so different? But once he got used to the Cacodemon, he would hear the Cacodemon in the distance without seeing it, and he'd be like, oh, there's a Cacodemon around here. Whereas in the past, if you hear that sound, that roaming sound effect, that grunt, it could be anything. It could be a lost soul, it could be a Pinky, it could be a specter, it could be a Cacodemon, it could be a Baron. It's useless. It's not a very helpful sound effect. It's only good for telling you that there's a monster nearby, which is like, gee, thanks, that really helps. Because I didn't think that a level would have a monster in it. And again, I'm not blaming id Software. They had limitations that they had to work around. But when it comes to modern day, where our average like memory size for modern computers is like 16 gigs, 32 gigs, it's just not an issue. So might as well take this opportunity to add the sound effects that I think the guys at id Software would have added if they had decided to get the game to run on a more powerful system and store the game exclusively on CD instead of trying to distribute it with floppies. But yeah, when you change these the sounds of these creatures, these demons, it adds so much to the way that you plan your attacks, because now you can say, okay, that sounds like a lost soul, that sounds like a Cacodemon, that sounds like either a Baron or a Hell Knight. And whenever you hear that classic grunt sound, you know that it can only be a Pinky or a Spectre and nothing else. So alright, so I just want to lower these platforms here. Whoops, I didn't want to fall off. Well, it's okay, I'll just do this. I want to go back and get some resources. Okay, so this secret is interesting, that most people struggle with the secret. I think this was probably the most difficult secret for most people. Most people just couldn't figure this one out. But you see, I don't just add stuff just for fun. Like the gargoyles faces, for instance, they're there for a reason. And I don't just add little, gray steps just for fun. It's there for a reason. And it's all about figuring out those steps are there for a reason, and hopefully some people have been able to realize that, you know, while a platform's moving down, you can't make it go up until it has stopped going down. So that's how you can get to that blue armor. Originally, that button just lowered this platform here, but I had to add another button here because in the DOS version, certain platforms that move, such as that one that moves down, the secret trigger would not trigger. So you would get all of the secrets, but it just wouldn't give you 100% secret rating. So yeah, so it's kind of annoying. Now, fortunately, unlike the gargoyle faces that tell you which doors for what switch, a lot of people were able to figure out that those pentagons on the floor are for teleporting of monsters. So this time, no cheap sort of ambushes. If you see a pentagram, then you know that you need to be prepared for whatever is going to come through there. It's not going to tell you which monster is going to come out, so there is still an element of surprise, but at least you're not going to feel like the game's being cheap. And the reason why it's a 2D object instead of like a pattern on the floor is because I wanted to be able to disable it in easier difficulties, because there would be some times in the easier difficulties when there would be no monsters that would teleport in. This is also similar to that blue armor secret from the previous stage. This opens up very quickly, so you have to kind of... There's an invisible line here that opens it up, but getting off the platform closes it. And just doing it quickly will let you access it. There's one of my favorite Let's Players, who also happens to do a lot of Doom videos, is David X Newton, and he did a video on Doom 0, and he was able to figure out these little quirks of the secrets in Doom 0, probably because, you know, he likes, you know, understanding how Doom works and stuff, because he reviews maps of people that make WODs and stuff. And he has a lot of great insights into the kind of things you need to do to make a good looking map. I know there's another dude up there. Yeah. Okay. But another YouTuber that I've been watching a lot in the last year or so is Dean of Doom. And he's really fantastic. High quality content. I'm probably gonna die. Probably should have used Berserker first before coming down here. Okay. That's okay. We got a super... another supercharger Megasphere coming up. You know, in Vanilla Doom, I don't understand why the Spectre that's standing here can hear me even though I block the sound. The rest of the Spectres and Imps here, I mean, the Pinkies here, cannot hear me. But sometimes there's just sound glitches where some monsters can just see through walls, or hear through walls, or hear through sorry, I cannot concentrate. I have to remind myself that not just the Pinkies, but I mean, I'm getting these monsters mixed up, not just the Imps but also the Barons and the Hell Knights, they also shoot really fast. Okay. Now, down here is definitely the hardest. If you're not taking as much time as I am, because I'm being extra careful, it's a good idea to come down here when you still have the partial invisibility power up, because these hit scanners, they just devastating because of all the chain gunners I added here. I wonder if I can shoot a rocket. Okay, I think that only killed one guy. Sometimes it kills 3 of them. And yes, I am playing classic mode. As you can see, I'm no auto. I mean, yes, auto aim. No, looking up and or down with the mouse. Well, okay, that's fine. I don't remember picking up that Berserk, but of course I did pick it up because the screen's a bit red. Anyways, you know, I really don't need to come down here. There's only chainsaw that I already picked up, so I guess part of me is like, well, let's 100% it anyways. This room could have potentially been a pain, but it turns out a lot of people actually did end up liking this room because it forced people to sort of plan carefully what rooms they walk into, especially locked doors that might be locked on the other side with that require a different key to open. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how you can do this with fast monsters. These guys are just relentless. Okay, yeah. Fortunately, there's another soul sphere that I can pick up. But before we get that, let's just first sort out these Hell Knights. Okay, is this thing coming down? Yes. Now you might think the reason why this wall drops is because, oh, it's make it easier for the player. Quite the opposite, actually. It makes it easier for the Hell Knights, because the Hell Knights, they just get stuck in that narrow corridor, because monsters in Doom are kind of stupid. They just kind of walk in your general direction, even if there's a wall between you and them. So it's, I mean, you don't really notice when you play the game, but when you enable a cheat that helps all monsters on the map become visible, it's so funny just seeing these monsters just hugging the wall trying to get to you, but they can't because they don't know how to navigate through environments. That's probably a good thing, because if the monsters were smarter, then they would be harder. And if they would be harder, then either id Software would have to like have less monsters in the game, or make them weaker. But having them be stupid allows the player to take on a large amount of monsters that are not weak. Probably should have used the chainsaw instead. And you know, Doom is known for their massive army of demons that you have to take out. I remember someone was saying, why did you speed up the chain gun? I didn't speed up the chain gun. The chain gun was already firing the animation was firing half the speed compared to how many bullets you fire. This is the proper speed that the chain gun is supposed to be. Whoops. I thought that thing was going to hit a wall. Guess not. Yeah, the Lost Souls, I need to remember that these guys, they don't have a cooldown. They just keep attacking you in fast monster mode. Does that make it harder or easier? It kind of depends on the situation. Kind of reminds me of the ogres from Quake, how they're actually harder in harder difficulty than in Nightmare, because they stand still because they keep firing grenades at you, whereas they don't fire grenades as many times in the easier difficulties. But because he's not always firing the grenade, he's walking towards you, so in some ways it makes it more difficult. Okay, now we've cleared everything. Now I can get all the goodies. Make sure that I think, yeah, I don't know. You know, I actually don't remember if I picked up that soul sphere. Probably did. Let's just quickly check. Yeah, I did. Okay. It's fine. 165 health is okay. Alright, so map 5. Definitely the hardest map of these 6 maps. The 6th map could be more challenging, but unless if you know what to do, like I do, map 6 can be one of the easiest maps, actually. Well, I mean, not as easy as map 1, obviously, but you know, I don't know which weapon I should use. Whoops, what a waste. You know, I have increased the amount of rockets and plasma compared to earlier versions of Doom Zero. And the reason why I did that, it wasn't because I thought that Doom Zero is too difficult. It was actually because when rockets are rare and plasma is rare, people generally don't use the rockets and the plasma as often. And as a result, they just kind of rely on over-reliance of the shotgun and the chain gun. And they never end up really using the plasma and the rocket launcher all too often. And it kind of makes the game less fun. Like, why wouldn't you want to use the chain gun, I mean the plasma gun and the rocket launcher in a situation that calls for it? But you know, people are afraid that, oh, I'm gonna need it for something that might happen that I don't know will happen. So they keep saving the rockets and the plasma and never use it, and they end up not having optimal fun. So I added more rockets, more plasma, but I also reduced the amount of shells because people were way too reliant on the super shotgun. And it's not like you barely get to use the super shotgun, and it's not like that, oh, you can just use plasma all the time. It's still relatively rare ammo. I don't know how I'm gonna get those guys because the auto aim has a distance limit. Alright, well, oh gosh, I didn't see you. Blended in with the environment. Everything's so brown. Yeah. Fortunately, this is generally the most brown this level will be. Ow. Okay. Okay, well, that kind of worked. Probably a good idea if I saved. You know what? I'm just gonna say that if I die, then I have to start over. And if that happens near the end of a map, I won't make you guys sit through me redoing the map. I'll just fast forward to the point where I need to be. Another cool thing having this chain gun be a lot faster is that you can do this. You can snipe monsters a lot more efficient, in a more efficient way. Is efficiently a word? I guess it is. This room in particular, like hearing the Caco's unique sound effects really does help, so you know that what you're actually up against, as opposed to wondering if it's just the what do you call it, the pinkies. Is that a Caco up there? Yeah, that was a Caco up there. Huh. That's funny. You know, I don't need to waste bullets on those guys. Okay. I did test every single one of these maps on pistol start on ultraviolence because, I mean, you have to test it. The only thing is that some people might find that some maps have too much ammo, and that's just because continuous play does do that. But I thought it was more important to have just enough ammo for pistol start instead of assuming that everyone's just going to save often and all of that stuff. Man, I could really do with a BFG right now. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna have to use the plasma. Alright, now I don't want to get eaten. Oh! infinitely high hitboxes. All right, here we go. Nice. Cool. All right. I mean, there's health in the other pits, but this pit has the has that. So that's really useful. I won't take it just yet because I'm at 80%. There's another Caco somewhere. There he is. But I worked really hard on getting the sound effects. Oh, okay, I killed both of them. Cool. I worked really hard to get the Cacodemon to sound right. And he's the sounds he makes is similar to the sound that he makes in Doom Eternal and Doom 2016. Okay. Now this is why I love the plasma so much. Ow! Even after picking up the BFG, I'd still use the plasma a lot because you can do a lot of damage with weaker enemies, as opposed to wasting 40 cells every single shot with the BFG. Okay, so I don't know why I did that. Why I went down that pit again. Because I don't want to pick up the berserk. Okay, well, this should be fine. Okay, I didn't know that Pinky could get up those stairs. Those Pinkies have a limit to how small a platform they can stand on. So like these stairs are probably too narrow for Pinky. But I actually, you know what, this step is quite wide, so that's probably what happened. Cool. I still don't need the berserk, so I guess I'll save it for a little later. Yeah, I remember, like, people would just jump over this wall to get to that plasma. And yeah, sure, I could have made that wall impossible to go through, but the thing is that I wanted all the flying monsters, including the Cacos, the many Cacos, to be able to chase you into that room. And also the Lost Souls. There used to be 2 Archviles there, but I watched someone play this map, and it took him forever to destroy those 2 Archviles, so I reduced it to just 1, which is fine. We'll just have just 1 to introduce the player to the Archvile, or just to warn the player that yes, this early on in the game there's an Archvile. Yeah, you actually encounter an Archvile quite a few levels before a Revenant, in fact. Okay, now there's several ways we can approach this. Normally I would use a rocket, but you know, if I'm unlucky, sometimes I'll blow myself up, so let's not do that. Let's just use a super shotgun. So yeah, this would only take a couple of seconds, especially if you were very efficient. But yeah, but that other guy, the guy that was fighting 2 Archviles, it took him like 5 minutes. It was incredibly long. So I decided, let's just get rid of the irritating aspects of the monster placement. Okay, now this one, definitely want the plasma for this part. I still think that this part's pretty difficult, especially on Ultraviolence, because of the chain gunners. Whoops. You know what? Maybe I can just use rockets. Okay. Oh, was there a pinky there? I mean, not a pinky, imp. Why do I keep getting imps and pinkies mixed up? Been playing this game for only, what, 25 years? Actually, it's more like 22 years. I only got a PC later in the 90s that was powerful enough to run Doom. Okay. Now, technically this secret here is a use once secret. If you lower this platform, you won't be able to see that lion switch. However, you can still technically flip that switch because, again, every collision is infinitely high. Okay, I also need to get this over here. Maybe I should get the plasma first. Is there any bullets? No, I already picked it up. I think there's an arch file there. Okay, definitely plasma. Okay. Are they both dead? Yes. Yeah, I have changed this puzzle so many times because some people just really struggled. Like, yes, you want some of the platforms to be challenging, but you don't want it to be irritating, so I decided to try to make it slightly more streamlined. It's still fundamentally the same puzzle, so it's not like I'm taking challenge away or content away. Okay, so now hopefully we'll be able to keep most of this armor for the next map, assuming I don't lose too much health. You know, I could totally cheese the system and just stand here. They won't be able to reach me. Anyways. I did not see him. I had to kind of guess where he was based on the stereo separation. So why is this not making a sound effect? Because this sector actually stretches across the entire length of this map. Why did I do that? Well, it's to prevent telefragging from happening. Actually, you know what? Let's just take on these guys. I'm sure I can. It's actually going to be much harder if I do it the other way. So yeah, like if you have two opposite teleporters move up and down exactly at the same time, then you know when someone's standing on the teleporter, so that you know not to step on it until it goes back up again or something. So that way you can reduce the amount of, oh my gosh, I forgot about that rocket. That's okay, a few more things I want to get anyways. Yeah, so when you see it go down, then you know that, okay, it should be safe, because when it closes, you're like, okay, well, a person had to have gotten off it in order to for the platform to close or to go up again. Alright, well, I might as well get the Berserk, just because. Yeah, such a waste of time just to get the rocket. Anyways. Let's just do a bit of, what do they call it? SR40? Yeah. Diagonal running. Okay, one more map after this and then we'll wrap things up. Shouldn't take too long. It's more like a boss map than it is a normal level. Not sure if I got all the secrets. Probably did. I guess I could always check on the map. That's a nice feature they added with the re-releases, that you can check item completion and secrets and kills and stuff in the map, which is nifty. It does, however, kind of spoil the surprise, because if you enter a map and there's only 2 monsters, like in map 32, then you know that, oh, it's definitely either Cyber Demon or what do you call it, Spider Mastermind, or both. But you know it, it's not that big of a deal. Okay. Always be cautious, because sometimes a roaming monster could just ruin your day. Even though I don't think I alerted any monsters. Now, because this is ultra violence, you don't get as much ammo. So this might take a while. Well, it's not that bad. Oh. First time I ever saw this Spider Mastermind wasn't in Doom 1, it was Doom 2. Here in South Africa, I didn't know very many people, if any, that that ordered the what do you call it, the full version of Doom 1, because you have to order it through either through mail or through phone. Whereas Doom 2 was way easier to get your hands on, because oh wait, I already have 100 health. Because it was a retail copy and you could just buy it at a store. So my experience with Doom was mostly with, at least my early experiences was mostly Doom 2. And then later on it was Doom 1. Okay, now the secret let you access everything. See the 2 red lights? That's an indication of that secret. Will let you access 2 other rooms now that you have all the keys. Of course, I've been doing really well keeping stock of plasma, so I guess I really didn't need to go there. Well, it's nice to top up for the next map. And that is the first, I guess you could say, episode of Doom 0. I might in the future carry on with this playthrough. So far it's not too bad. If you know the secrets, and of course with continuous play you can keep all of your ammo and items and stuff between levels. I imagine that pistol start would definitely be extremely difficult, but I mean, that would probably take me hours to do. So for now, I mean, this is my first time doing any kind of playthrough with Ultraviolence Plus. So yeah, so thanks for watching. Until next time.